Read the news of Mr. Nair in the newspapers, and obviously to us Bengalis and Calcuttans, he is an institution. Uh, any of us who is not even doing history or history of the city, it is really remarkable to find a person like him coming all the way from Kerala and uh, getting so passionately involved with his work. So a personality like him really for me and many of us, he was he was an enigma, and also I I always looked forward to an opportunity when I could meet him. Now my encounter with him was very brief. It was, I think, in 2018, and he was leaving for Kerala just a few. I think he left for Kerala in 2018 itself, and I was then working with my colleague on a project of Durga Puja. So I wanted to know more about, although my subject is archaeology, but I also researched the urban history of part of Calcutta, like the Kumattuli area. So my colleague, who is a very eminent professor in political science, he said that if I could possibly meet Mr. Nair, and because his book on the streets of Calcutta is so famous among his other works. So principally this book which took me to Mr. Nair. So I wanted to meet him to find out if he could tell me more about the urban space of Kumattuli, which is, as you know, the hub of the clay idols, Pratima Shilpo, right? Which is like forms the core of Durga Puja. So I still remember one morning when Mr. Gopi took us to his house in Kasharipara. His wife had gone for puja in a local temple, and he was there, and he was absolutely, then he must have been around 85, 86. He was absolutely coherent. I saw we were not only introduced to him but also to his iconic typewriter. And I still, I mean, all of you must have read. I was speaking to Mr. Gopi. He was saying that all in Kerala, all the Malayalam newspapers are carrying news of him, and here also in the English dailies, in Bengali newspaper like Anandabazar Putrika. So there are features on him. So all of you know about his lifestyle, that he never used a mobile phone. Probably he did not even have a phone in his house. His daily routine, when he would get up and go to the National Library when it was just open. All of you know about these parts, so I am not going to repeat all that. Uh, Two things I would like to highlight, and for which we remember. I mean, he is an institution, no doubt about it. We remember institutions like him. One is this entire genre of urban history. Now that is very much on the rise for the past maybe decade or so. People all over the world are interested to understand urban space. In fact, I remember attending an international conference in Belfast, and they were doing just what, I mean, if they had met Mr. Nair, they would have been absolutely thrilled. So they were doing just, Belfast is a much smaller city compared to Calcutta. So they were actually mapping those streets, which Mr. Nair did in far more detail. So when it comes to, say, I mentioned urban history and urban landscape, urban scape we call it, there his work is phenomenal, and his methodology. Each and every street, lane by lane is mentioned in this Kolkata, this history of Calcutta streets. So, when we talk of methodology of doing research, and everyone, all of us now rely on Google Maps, etc. But just this on foot survey and taking down the details of all the streets and bylanes and then verifying them with archival resources. This is really remarkable. Second is this distinction that often used to be made between amateur and professional historian, or between an amateur and professional. In fact, I was reading. I was reading in one of the newspaper dailies, or maybe on